Here's my 2 cents review of Philadelphia, 1993. I'm doing this review in 2014, so it's been about a solid 21 years since this movie came out. I was 16 years old when this movie came out. It was one of those films that kind of centered on my own homophobia at the time. I'm from a very, very small town. I have gay people in my family, my mom's sister, and etc., who will never come out to their family because they're not allowed to come out with their family. This is the world I come from. This is the world that a lot of people still live in, believe it or not, even though as I'm doing this review, we've evolved as a species in terms of gay rights. They've come a long way, and especially in the last few years. But Philadelphia shows me how far we've come, and it's interesting watching Dallas Buyers Club, for example, which, as I'm doing this review, is nominated for Best Picture, which Matthew McConaughey stars in it, will probably win an Oscar, just like Tom Hanks won an Oscar in 1993. So it's like the baton of where we are in the AIDS homosexual era. And it's just showing about what this movie is about is that we're all basically, we have a lot in common, as a race and species, and that's what basically we're not all that different, and that's kind of the underlying theme of Philadelphia, and it's kind of shot in a really interesting way, especially the courtroom scenes where I remember Jonathan Demme basically saying that in Philadelphia, the lawyers are not allowed to stand up and talk to their client when they're on stand, and we see that in so many courtroom TV shows and movies. And in this one, they had to sit down in the chair, and he kind of cinematically made that work even more profoundly. And I'm surprised his directorial efforts in the courtroom scenes are not used in other films. But all I know is that this is a film that is very kind of really hit me in the ass when I watched it, because I realized that, you know what, I got some issues because this is how I was brought up in. I was I didn't have overly racist parents, but it was snickered at if you were gay that you're not a real person. And I'm being serious here. I don't believe my parents are bad people either, but this is kind of the ignorance that we were brought up in. And I had a part of that. And it took me a long time to get over I made a movie about homosexual couples because it was part of part of it was my therapy to get over this kind of relationships that people have. But all I know is that Philadelphia, watching it 21 years later, and this is my Tom Hanks tribute kind of part of the film, is that we've come a long way, and Philadelphia really holds up today too. It's 21 years later. It really stands the test of time. So take a look at it. It's good to watch Dallas Buyers Club, then Philadelphia, kind of to see kind of the perspectives of the AIDS epidemic and homosexuality in general. That's my 2 cents.